All right. Okay, this is old Travo's Stuff 334 in Phoenix City, Alabama. And, we've been talking for 2 or 3 days about this Kia Sorento. And tomorrow, if everything works out, I'll be carrying it to a place over in Columbus, Georgia called Fred's Tires. I've been dealing with them since over 40 years and very trustworthy. So I want everything checked, like transmission, every single thing. Because if I'm going to get out on the road with any of this, I want to know that it all works. So the other day when my daughter was here, named Shannon, she did a walk around with me. And one of the things that we said that we needed was certainly going to have a bed. Well, Shannon went inside and started looking at the different places to be able to get it, and she found this one right here. And I'm telling you now, this is probably one of the best mattresses I think I have ever seen. I know I'm going to have this sideways, but that's okay. Now, as I said, I'm hoping that tomorrow, depending on everything, the weather and everything, I will do my best to get this over there and let them start doing the things that they need to do. But there's a couple of things I wanted to talk about that, there's so many people, and I watch them all. I had just watching Dennis just a few minutes ago, and a couple of times today. There's just so many, and they're all so good, and I get tips from them. Now, Rusty, 98601, I think, or 986801, one of the two. I've learned a lot from him already. And one of the good things about him is he keeps me up. He punches me up a little bit so that you don't kind of think about being, well, maybe it's not that we don't really need to do that. But then when I watch him and he gets all spunky and talking about the different things that he has done, well, it fires me up a little bit too. So, but one of the things I wanted to talk about was when I grew up, and I'm talking 5 years old, 6 years old. Columbus, Georgia is a pretty big city. But when I was 5, 6 years old, there was another place called Bibb City, and it was inside the city limits of Columbus, Georgia, but it was still a city of its own. It had its own police force, and there were several nice stores. As a matter of fact, when I was growing up, there was a place called Hirsch Department Store, and there was Mr. Max Hirsch. And for kids like me during that time, if you made good grades and take your report card in every 6 weeks, you'd get a nickel for every A. Now, that may not sound like a lot today, but let me tell you, if you're working good and you got 6 subjects and you get 30 cents, you can go to the movies. You could go to the movies for 10 cents, get a hot dog and a pickle and a drink with the rest of it. So, you had a heck of a day. And back then, the theater that was right across the street from where I got my clothes, you could go in there and sit there and watch movies all day long. No charge, no extra charge. So I'd like to take us through a little bit of the town, because it's all dilapidated and it's gone now, and it's sad. As a matter of fact, the Hirsch Department Store, she had a beautiful young lady. Name was Shirley, and she was probably about the same age as mine. But she kept telling my mother as we would go in, she'd say, your son is going to marry my daughter. One one of these days. Well, it never did happen, and I did have a happy wife, a good wife. But there's other things. There was a bib mill, West Pepperell bib mill, and they employed over 3,000 people. They had 3 shifts, at 7 days a week. And when that started closing down, everything else started closing down. So I would like to walk through and show some of the stuff that is not there anymore, but I'll give you a good description of it. But I'd like to do that. So I'm going to go inside now. It's a little bit hot out here, and tomorrow we'll try to go ahead and get started on my Kia, and maybe in a day or so we can go ahead and at least take a small trip to go through one of the places that I just told you about in Bibb City. It's just you wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe it. I won't say any more about it now, and I will as we ride through. I will tell you, and you can see it in the video later. But thank you for everything, and just like me every now and again. Send me a thank you or whatever. So thank you very much. We'll have a good evening.